Hey, people, all you people, listen to me.
Yeah.
We're about to finish Surah 8.
Yeah,
on the
we
show
are.
today.
All for you.
Yep. I have the Study Quran and the Quran Project Quran and the Penguin Classics Quran.
Also got the thematic commentary on the Quran that we haven't used in a while. We have Qurans from Abdullah Yusuf Ali, Maulana Muhammad Ali, and the Quran and the Bible from Gabriel Said Reynolds. That's what we got going on today. Also, Ruben, did you happen to watch the recent video?
The chapters and
Yeah.
verses video?
Yeah.
Yeah, not closely.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I did have it on in the background while I was like doing paperwork.
All right, that's something. I'll take it.
From what I remember, it was a pretty good one.
Oh, thank you.
But I looked at the comments and someone pointed out you were using your webcam.
Yeah, I'm always using my webcam.
Yeah, you should be using our professional 4K cameras.
Yeah, we do have pretty good cameras
if
here,
we're gonna
actually.
be shooting like individual videos, we shouldn't use worse cameras.
Yeah, that's fair, I feel.
No one was in the studio because no one else uses this.
Yeah, that is accurate. Yeah, using a better camera would be a good idea. Yeah.
Cameras are great.
But the thing is, what's weird is that there was a recent comment that was so stupid. There was this dude who was saying that the Bible prophesied that it would have verses, so none of the stuff I said mattered. And I'm like, first of all, they were taking like part of Isaiah 34 completely out of context, and it was a specific translation that could be interpreted as like a line like in text, but that's obviously not what they were talking about. So it was dumb. It was a really dumb argument, and like I'm not even gonna engage with stupid shit like that. Like those are people that can't listen. It was formatted in the exact way, like I'm sure you've seen this before on this channel, where they just copy and paste like lists of verses. Like
yeah,
it's one of those. So it we get those a lot, and I just never respond to them. I'm like, this isn't even worth engaging with this person because this is not a person. I don't believe this is a thinking human being. It is more likely to be a bot than an actual person.
You know, there is an actual point there because it might be a bot when you encounter some of these things. Now, a lot of the comments on social media, X, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, but a lot of the top level comments are from bots.
Right, I've noticed that a lot recently. And the thing is, they're from bots that they get like a shit ton of likes like immediately after it gets posted. Mm-hmm. Like, like 2 minutes ago, oh look, it already has 3,500 likes. This video has barely that many views. Like it's actually crazy. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it does get kind of wild because some people notice like the profile picture for them. And it's usually just like, some chick's ass or something. Wow. Like that's like the profile pic. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yep. They have obviously made up names.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, we're reading the Quran today.
The Quran. Yes, we are continuing it. We are on verse 37 of Surah 8. Now, what have you thought about Surah 8 so far, Lawrence?
Well, let's see. I haven't wrote down much about Surah 8 since we did just have the one episode on it. I remember in verse 22 there was there was something about unbelievers being the absolute worst, and I don't exactly remember that. I know that there's a shit ton of stuff in here in the Quran that is very
the worst of living creatures.
Oh, right, yeah, the worst of beasts. Yeah, in the sight of God. Yeah, that's true. That's a fun one. Oh, yeah, and then there's something about clapping and whistling pagans. Like, that was a little historical note.
Whistling pagan. Well, the point of the surah in many ways has been about the spoils of war. Right? The point is, it's good when we do it, we being Islam, I guess.
Yeah, because
at the time.
this specific one, it seems to be surrounding the Battle of Badr. That's what everyone is essentially agreed on. That in this specific battle, that is the I think it was the Battle of Badr, this one, or maybe it's coming up. I forget. I was reading a little bit about it earlier today, but in this specific context, this is kind of different from the stuff that we've seen about war and like battling the unbelievers before, because this seems like, in fact, it might be responding to an aggressive group of people, because it is like we can compare it to some of the stuff that was said earlier in the Quran about, like, because they never liked non-believers, but they were never, it didn't seem like they were anywhere as vitriolic as this before. It seemed like in
this
other
is very vitriolic.
Yeah, in other
it's
passages,
dehumanizing.
Right.
It's like they're going to hell.
Yeah, in other passages, they usually just keep it to they're going to hell, and it usually doesn't go too much further. There was a thing about, like, if you have like a Muslim friend and like a non-believer friend, you would have to, and you had to pick one, you would go with the Muslim, right? So there's obviously that, but like aside from, I feel like that's a very small thing. So, but this is
friendships.
yeah. But this is vitriolic. So,
I mean, it's bigger than ruining friendship.
Right. Yeah. This is like they're going to war over this shit. So, and
big friendship ruin.
I feel like you want to ruin friendships. Why do you want to do that?
War is the big friendship ruin.
Good to know. I'm going to put that in the dictionary next
War
time.
is hell.
Anyways.
And I learned that by watching Platoon, starring Charlie Sheen.
Wow. That is not a reference that I was expecting to pop up in the year of our Lord 2025.
It's a great movie. Platoon is wonderful. Everybody, after the show, all 5 of you.
Perhaps I should watch Platoon.
Yeah. Have you seen
No.
Platoon? You haven't seen Platoon?
I have not seen Platoon.
Oh, man. You're going to love it.
There's
Okay.
a 50% chance I have.
It's great.
I believe that.
It's the best
It's a
war
hit or
movie.
miss.
The best war movie.
Yeah, it's about Vietnam.
Sure, yeah.
What about
It's
Full Metal
got Charlie
Jacket?
Sheen. It's got Dr. Cox as one of the...
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah,
Anyways, verse 37, that God may separate the bad from the good and place the bad one upon the other and heap them all together and place them in hell. It is they who are the losers.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It also has a little bit of what was it? The Apocalypse of Peter, right? Because there was this isn't the exact same thing, but
there are like pits.
There are pits. That is true.
Yeah.
So the language might come from that, like the heaping them together specifically, because if you remember, in the Apocalypse of Peter, what was the punishment for being gay? Do you remember I think it was for being gay.
I don't recall.
It was. I'm pretty sure it's for this. You would go up onto this cliff, right? And you would jump down, and there was a pile of people that you landed on, and then you would like people would keep coming down, right? And eventually you'd be covered by people, and you would be at the bottom of the pit. And then once you are at the bottom, not the pit, of the pile, and then once you come out of the pile, you go back up again and jump down again.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I think
No one.
I
We
remember
read this.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
This, which is absolutely crazy. You know,
It is. Yeah.
one must imagine Sisyphus
Just
should
pissed.
Right,
be
yeah.
happy.
It's just pissed as
And
fuck.
so we must imagine
Never mind. I'm gonna stop talking.
Uh-oh.
we must imagine the people continually going through this pile as being happy, right?
Yo, you want to be a living
Oh,
sand
right.
clock?
That's it.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
This is different. Do you want to be like a living timepiece where you're the sand in the whatever? You know what I mean?
What?
The sand clocks.
I-
Do you know what
An
I'm talking
hour
about?
clock?
Yeah, you're talking about
Hourglass.
hourglass. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word. Thanks. Tip of my tongue. Couldn't get it.
What?
Sand clocks, which could refer also to a sundial made of sandstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Maybe
Why would you
he was
think
talking
that?
about that.
I've seen
You said
wristwatch
sand clock.
sand
Hey,
dials.
I forgot the word for hourglass. Jeez, I'm sorry. It's not a word I use very often. Do you throw that word around all the time?
Every day.
Every time.
Every single
I
day.
actually believe you when you say
I
that.
sooner
I
have
know
read
you're- I know
Timepiece than that.
I
okay?
know he's kidding, but I believe him because he seems like exactly the type of person who would say the word hourglass every single day.
Yes, I just casually mention hourglasses throughout the day.
I don't think. I'm not around all the time, but not around me.
Please hand me my hourglass.
Has your
you know,
hourglass. Wait,
Anyway.
do we have the Halloween
It's-
prop?
all the time.
Oh, we
every
did.
day.
We did.
Anyway,
Not around? Did it break?
what happened to it?
I don't think so. Do we have it in that? We might have it in that pile over there.
Is it?
I have to look.
I don't
I mean, we
think
can look
it
for it
is.
later.
I'm gonna just look.
No, but I remember we definitely had an hourglass, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had like this big goth
Yeah, we did.
hourglass thing.
Yeah. All right.
We had it for the Halloween special.
We did, yeah. It would make sense if it were over there because we got that big pumpkin with the. I don't know why they put a witch's hat on it, but it has one on it. Yeah, it's unremovable. Yeah, that's true.
It's on there.
it's stitched onto the pumpkin. All right. So I
Let's
guess while
proceed
Chris looks for an hourglass.
With the Quran.
Yeah.
Say to the disbelievers that if they desist, what is past will be forgiven them. But if they relapse, then the worst of those of old has already passed.
That was a weird.
Then the want of those of old has already passed. What is?
Yeah. So some other translations here. Yeah. If they desist, that which is past will be forgiven them, and if they return, so if they come back to the faith, then the example of those of old has already gone. Interesting. The example of them has gone. And so this is verse 38. But if they resume their hostilities, the precedent of the predecessors has already come to pass. Oh, there it is.
Ah, yes. Thank you for handing me my hourglass.
Yeah, that is pretty dope. There is literally a spider in there too.
What?
Yeah, there's a spider web and a spider.
Oh, there's a spider over there too.
Yeah.
Did I just pick up a thing with a spider on it?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Bunch
Oh,
of
there it
alive?
goes. There it goes. Yeah. And now it's heading off the table. Well, sorry about that, spider. We messed with your home. But you know what? You took our hourglass.
Yep.
Sand clock.
Right, our sand clock. So yeah, the understandings here. Let's see. So the meaning is that they could read their own doom in the doom of those whom Allah had dealt previously in similar circumstances, which does make sense. Yeah. I think Reynolds' translation is a little bit better for us. The precedent of the predecessors has already come to pass. So like you know what's going to happen to you.
Okay. And fight them until there is no strife and religion is wholly for God. But if they desist, then truly God sees whatsoever they do. And if they turn away, know that God is your master, an excellent master, an excellent helper.
This is a very weird verse, and I'm not sure if this is like a typo or something. Look how this is formatted here. Do you see that? It has like a 9/30 in there, and I don't know why. And there is not a single comment on that. But all the other translations seem okay. I don't know why this specific one has just it has verse 40, and then right next to it it's 9/30, and I'm not.
That is very strange. I don't have any reference to anything like that.
Yeah, I have absolutely.
Is there perhaps some separate manuscript tradition? We don't know because there's no critical edition of the Quran.
Yeah, that is a bummer, isn't it? But either way, it seems like very common ways of talking about God.
Yep. Well, somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah, calling
God
him a
is your
helper and all-knowing.
master.
Yeah.
An excellent master.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Anders. He's got the good comment about the sand clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sand
Sandor.
clock
Yeah.
translates literally to
Interesting.
German. Oh.
That is interesting. Okay.
Oh,
Didn't
interesting.
know that.
Hey, man, I figured it was a valid combination of words, even if it wasn't the correct one.
I forget if this hourglass is actually an hour.
No.
No.
Was it 30 minutes or 15
It's
minutes?
Probably.
I thought it was
shorter.
10.
It's probably like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it'd have to be pretty
People
big.
of the audience, tell us how long it is when it's finished.
You know what?
It is all recorded.
It is. Yeah, it is. I was gonna say let's run a poll.
Nah, too late.
Did you already run a poll?
I mean, it's already running.
Oh, what's the poll for today? Is it?
No, the hourglass is already going.
I know the hourglass is going. Did you already run a poll?
I don't want to do a poll.
Oh my God. Okay.
Run a
fine,
poll.
Fine.
All right. but I
Ask
won't-
everyone how long the hourglass is.
Yeah. So while he does that,
While he does that, we will continue on. And know that whatsoever you take as spoils, a fifth is for God and the messenger, and for kinsfolk, orphans, the indigent, and the traveler. If you believe in God and what we sent down upon our servant on the day of discrimination, the day the two hosts met, and God is powerful over all things, when... do you have any comment?
I was just turning the page.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were on the near slope, and they were on the far slope, and the caravan was below you, and you had made a tryst with each other, that you would have failed the tryst. But it came to pass that God may conclude a matter that was to be done, so that whosoever should perish, perishes according to a clear proof, and whosoever shall live, lives according to a clear proof. And truly, God is hearing, knowing.
There are a lot of comments on this one, and I'm not sure if they're textual or what. No, I actually missed a comment for 41 there.
We turn the hourglass a little so people can see it. It's kind of hard to see the maybe? I don't know. It's actually a good angle for the camera. There we go. That's pretty good. That's even better.
There we go. Yeah. All right. So it's still going. There it goes. So I did miss a comment here. The Arabic behind Day of Separation is I'm gonna butcher this. Is it Yam al Furqan? I probably killed that. That's probably stupid. Probably really fucked that one up. This turn of phrase reflects the Syriac expression Yama da Furqana, Day of Redemption, which appears in the Peshitta translation of Isaiah 49:8. Thus says the Lord, at the time of my favor, I have answered you on the day of salvation. I have helped you. Then he has references for more on the term. Oh shit. Okay, I don't know what Fraga is. I know Fraga is question, so we need a like a question. Oh, is he talking about the poll? Maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
they're
he's
still going on about
saying
the
maybe
poll.
he needs like an actual question for the poll. I'm not sure. But that's context clues. So
Really good German skills there.
it's something. I know wir brauchen is we need. So
I don't know any German.
you probably know.
I know like
quite
the
a bit.
World War II German.
That you probably know more German than you think.
Wiener Schnitzel.
I guess that
That's
counts.
German.
Yeah, I guess.
You could have just said schnitzel.
Bratwurst.
Sure. Yeah.
Could have just said worst.
Yeah, you
Beer.
could. It is the
Or brat.
Yeah, worst. Yeah. Anyways,
Beer is German, right?
yes. But I'm sure you know plenty of it. Even like basic speaking German, you probably know a lot. There are a lot of cognates to English, so you probably know a ton.
Turns out I don't somehow.
I'm sure you do as well.
Nope. Don't know those words in either language. As
Wow.
It turns out.
Okay.
Yep.
I was just talking to the void there.
Huh?
Yep. But there are on 42. There are a lot of notes.
Yeah,
but they're
first I
pretty
want
small.
to point out that the slopes here, they're talking about when they were over this caravan, they were considering whether or not to attack this caravan or attack this army. It was like one or the other. And they went to attack the army
Right, yeah.
instead. And later it says that these people live and die by clear proofs.
Like the trees?
Yeah.
Guys, look, the thing's almost
A
out.
clear proof is interpreted
Almost.
by some to refer to the rain that came just before the battle and miraculously reversed the advantage of the Meccans of being on a firmer ground with the Muslims
can't
on
see it.
softer ground. Others see
Nice.
it more broadly as the fact that the smaller and
Okay,
poorly equipped army of the Muslims defeated the well-armed contingent of
It's 10 minutes,
Quraysh,
man.
which was 3 times its size.
Okay. I'll just keep track of this one, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 minutes.
21, 50, roundabout.
Either way, still gonna use it.
Yep.
Do it again.
Remember when God showed them in thy dream as being few?
Wait, hold on, I did have some like a few notes here.
Okay.
So it does explain here the position of the three parties, i.e., the party of the Muslims and the two parties of the Quraysh, is here made clear. The Muslims were on the near side, so the side near to Medina. The main army of the Quraysh was on the further side, or the side which was further from Medina, while the caravan was in a lower place, in other words, toward the sea coast, the further and farther from Medina, on its way to Mecca. And then it says the Muslims were so weak that they could not think of making an appointment with the enemy. They would have been broken away from the appointment, or from the battle, I guess. And it says here, okay, so in 42, in verse 42, where it says, let's see, you would certainly have broken away from the appointment, but in order that Allah might bring about a matter, and then it continues. There is an ellipsis here. The meaning being, but an encounter was brought about without appointment. So it seems like a very like shortened form of like the full thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
And also it's supposed to be in minutes. The poll is supposed to be in minutes. You could interpret it as hours. That's okay.
But it
Yeah.
would probably be incorrect.
Guys, it was seconds. You're all wrong.
Remember when God showed them in thy dream as being few?
No.
And hadst thou seen them as being many, you would surely have faltered and quarreled over the matter. But God delivered you. Truly, he knows what lies within breasts.
Within breasts? Oh, yeah. It does say that. Yeah, surely he is knower of what is in the breasts. I'm guessing, is that supposed to be like in the heart?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, it's supposed to. Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
They'd say heart. They know that word, right?
They do. They do know that word.
Yeah, no, they meant breasts. They're very specific.
According to commentators, the prophet had a dream before the battle in which he saw the opposing army as being relatively few in number, and he conveyed this message to the believers. A minority opinion states that his vision was not during sleep, usually denoted by the word used in this verse, manam, but occurred in a waking state.
But isn't the implication here that it was a big army?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Muhammad, I guess, gets this dream that they would be a small army.
Wow.
And I guess the argument is that it inspires them to go and attack the army, which they wouldn't have done if they knew it was a big army.
Right, yeah. And also at the same time, if he says that this was a dream. Now, as we know that God in the Bible appears through dreams quite often. Happened with Solomon, right? I believe happened with Jacob too, didn't it?
Not the dream prophet, not that prophet who relied solely on dreams. I forgot which one that was, but there was like that guy.
There was Joseph who could
Definitely, yeah, there we go.
interpret dreams.
Or something.
Yeah.
But
So
generally, God speaks to people in dreams and in like the whispers of the wind.
that works too, yeah. So
How you doing? I'm the wind.
what was that?
Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind, yeah.
That was the wind.
Yeah. The wind must have been the wind.
You've
Yeah.
not said the word yet. Just read that word.
yeah. Where was I? Right. So this would be a shocker for, like, obviously they don't interpret this as, revelation, 'cause otherwise it'd be wrong. But it is interesting that they seem to mention this dream where it kind of makes Muhammad look like a bozo.
Mm-hmm.
Kinda, huh?
Well, there's a purpose to it.
Right. Of course.
Really?
And remember when he showed them to you, when you met them as being few in your eyes, and made you appear to be few in their eyes, so that God may conclude a matter that was to be done. And unto God are all matters returned.
When he showed them. Oh, and when he showed them to you, when you met as few in your eyes, and he made you to appear few in their eyes. So, like, he made them underestimate them.
In this verse, it's the believers who are shown the opposing army as being few in number. It's reported that the companion Ibn Masud said to a man beside him, "Would you say there are 70? To which the man replied, "There are close to 100. Later, they asked a prisoner how many there were, and he said, "We were 1,000.
Oh my god. Dude, the fucking apologetics. Dude, look at this. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. So it says here that as regards the prophets seeing them few in a vision, it must no doubt, be interpreted as signifying their actual weakness, notwithstanding their great number. So talk about the apologetics.
Yes. Look, it sounds like they're mystically caused to see fewer of them.
But the thing is, this specific dream, well, hold on.
Okay.
So, okay, no. When he finally sees them in person, yeah. So it is different. The specific dream itself doesn't say that it comes from God. Right?
When he showed them to you.
Right. So would that have been like while they're already like on the way? Because he's talking about how they saw, how the enemy saw his army as well, right? He made you to appear few in their eyes, yeah.
But that's afterwards. 43, verse 43 is about this dream that God gives to Muhammad.
Yeah.
But 44 is about a vision
When
that is given to the Muslims who are at the battle.
Okay. Right. You're right. Never mind. So I did misread that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Allah showed them in a dream. Right. Or he got it wrong, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or he was trying to get him to go out to do this, right? But he is showing him technically a false dream.
Yes.
Yeah.
God can lie to people.
Yeah, and
if
often
he
does.
wants to. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, true.
Like explicitly here.
Is there a song about that?
I'm sure there are tons of songs
Like
about
you can
that.
do whatever you like.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh my God! Yes, there is. Shut up.
Both of us should shut up, I
Oh
think.
my God, that is. I know what song you're talking about.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, good. And everyone knows Jesus, take the wheel.
That's a different thing.
That's another problem. Yes. All
Oh
right.
my God.
Continue. Jesus, take that wheel.
Oh, you who believe, when you meet a company in battle, be firm and remember God much, that haply you may prosper. And obey God and his messenger, and do not quarrel among yourselves, lest you falter and your good fortune depart. And be patient. Truly, God is with the patient. And be not like those who left their homes boastfully, and be seen of men, and to turn others from the way of God. God encompasses whatsoever they do.
Yeah. So to be seen of men. Let's see. Yeah, he left their homes vainly and to show off to people. Yeah, that's the feeling I was getting there. That they were really, when they leave, they go off to bolster
over.
themselves.
Yeah, that was like 10
Well,
minutes.
no, it
Alright.
says here,
Okay, that
verse.
was 1 minute less than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
by
10 minutes,
like
okay.
50 seconds or so.
Fair enough.
Like 9 minutes.
Yep, 9 minutes and I'm gonna say
It's not a very good hourglass.
5 seconds. 9 minutes, 5 seconds.
It's just gravity, man.
Okay.
It's a sand clock. And if you keep pushing it towards the edge, it's gonna be a broken one. Yeah, right. There you go.
Anyways, this verse refers to the Meccans who left
think
their
the sand
homes
clock.
to protect their caravans and to defeat the prophet and his
It's most
followers.
exciting.
Here, as in many other instances, to turn can have a meaning both of hindering someone from a path and diverting oneself from a path. Therefore, though the most obvious sense of the verse is that the Meccans sought to stop believers from following the way of God, the verb sada can also be read to mean that they themselves abandoned and forsook the way of God.
So hopefully, it looks like we're still going.
Yeah.
But there we got a little error message.
An error message.
Yeah, that's
We've had
something's
this
not.
before, Lawrence.
We have, yeah, but I just want to make sure. It seems like everything's okay, because we're still seeing the stream and what we're doing. So, it doesn't seem like anything is fuckity, but
Interesting.
yeah. The only
Yep,
person that
Matthew,
right, yeah.
you got it right.
I suppose. Yeah,
You
congratulations.
are the official Milwaukee Atheist King of Time.
Yeah. Yeah, the king of time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, congratulations.
Space and time is usually what I give off. That's a good title. You should give him that one too.
The King of Space has to do some space-related thing. Or maybe there'll be a Queen of Space.
Maybe, yeah. Anyways, I think you were in the middle of a commentary.
No.
Yes, I was in the middle of a commentary. Regarding those who left their homes boastfully, it's reported that the Quraysh, led by Abu Jahl, were given the news that the caravan that they sought to protect was now safe, since it had taken the road near the sea, away from Badr, where the Muslims were planning to meet them. But the Meccans pressed on, and Abu Jahl was reported to have boasted that he would not turn back until they reached Badr, enjoyed wine and songs, and let other groups of people remain in fear of them, that is, the Meccans. Anyways, let me continue on. And remember,
Okay.
when Satan made their deeds seem fair unto them, and said, none among mankind shall overcome you today, and I am indeed your defender. But when the two hosts saw each other, he turned on his heels and said, I quit you. Truly I see what you see not. Truly I fear God, and God is severe in retribution.
Okay, so this is Satan running scared.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Although there's-
commentary is somewhat, there's a bit. It's interpreted by someone to mean that he whispered to them not physically but inwardly. According to some interpretations, they were impelled by pride and vanity mentioned in the previous verse, but when they came to the battlefield, their confidence disappeared, which caused them to suffer a defeat. Other commentators mention an account in which Satan took the form of a leader of a tribe whom the Quraysh feared would attack them, and because they killed one of its men, they were thus exposed to a two-front battle with the Muslims on one side and tribal enemies on the other. According to this version, Satan in human form promised the Meccans the help of his tribe, but left before the battle began.
There is another version of something like that comes up in this commentary. The person referred to here is said to have been Suraka ibn Malik, who was of the tribe of Bani Bakr, a branch of Bani Kanana. When setting out to attack Medina, the Quraysh had a fear that the Bani Kanana, who were their inveterate enemies, might attack Mecca in their absence. Suraka gave them promise of help. It may be, however, that what is stated here is only the devil's suggestion to the Quraysh leaders. So some people have interpreted this to be a historical event in which the leader himself, who they have identified, has himself noped out of there. Mm-hmm. As Chrissy puts it in chat. But it's interesting that moniker would be applied to this enemy.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. Remember when the hypocrites and those in whose hearts is a disease said their religion has deluded them. But whoever trusts in God, truly God is mighty wise. And if only thou couldst see when the angels took those who disbelieved, striking their faces and their backs and saying, taste the punishment of the burning. This is for what your hands set forth, and because God wrongs not his servants.
Oh, do you remember? I forget where it was, but earlier on, we had the thing about the angels taking people away.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that might be related to this, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah, the death angels taking you. So if you, while I write this down, if you want to go to, so in Surah 6, verses 61 to 62, I wrote down death angels taking you, and then related to that, there's also angels taking liars to punishment in that same surah, verse 93. So it is interesting that continues, that they have angels that specifically take you or cause you to die and punish you.
He sends guardians over you till when death comes to one of you, our messengers take him, and they neglect not their duty.
Valkyries who are jerks.
Okay. Right, yeah. Well, that is interesting that we see it again here.
But it sounds like the angels are taking them to hell and mocking them about how they're about to suffer forever.
Exactly.
So angels are kind of dicks.
They have been dicks historically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Theirs was like the way of the house of Pharaoh and those before them. They disbelieved in the signs of God, so God seized them for their sins. Truly God's strong, severe in retribution. That's because God never changes a blessing by which he blesses a people until they change what is in themselves, and because God is a hearing, knowing. Theirs was like the way of the house of Pharaoh, and for their and those before them, they denied the signs of the Lord, so we destroyed them for their sins. We drowned the house of Pharaoh for all their wrongdoers. All were wrongdoers, rather.
Yeah, it seems like, so the full commentary here, it seems to, from these verses, both in verse 52 and in verse 54, The Quran seems to make the destruction of the Egyptians a paradigmatic case of God's wrath against an unbelieving people. This may follow from biblical verses such as 1 Samuel 6:6. Why should you be as stubborn as Egypt and Pharaoh were? After he had brought disasters on them, did they not let the people leave?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was, obviously. But the thing is, God could have easily brought disaster on the Egyptians, like in one fell swoop. But instead, he wanted to play with his food a little bit, at least in the Bible.
What a cat.
Yeah.
Truly the worst of beasts in the sight of God are those who have disbelieved
Oh, yeah, there
and
we go.
will not believe.
Okay, sure.
This is back to the present in verse 53. Yes, you're the worst of beasts in the sight of God.
Should I maybe take over reading? Because
Um,
we're about halfway through, right? I think so.
Yeah, almost. Let me just finish the next verse. Those among them with whom thou made a pact, and then who break their pact every time, and who are not reverent.
Obviously referring to the covenant.
Mm-hmm. So I will hand it off to you, but it's thought that beyond the general message, this verse is referencing the tribes of Al-Nadir and Qurayza, who, though they had initially made an alliance with the prophet, betrayed him by later cooperating with the idolaters.
And I will be reading from Gabriel St. Reynolds. Did you just finish 56?
Yes, I just finished 56.
Yes, you did. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any commentary on that. Okay, so I will continue with 57. Oh, by the way, drop a like if you haven't. You should though, because it does help the algorithm.
And
that
I
like
think
up.
you should note.
Yes.
I think you should note,
Up.
Lawrence.
The number should
also,
go
this worst of beasts in the sight of God occurred in verse 55.
Lawrence keeps
Which,
dropping his like. He needs your help. Can you pick his like up for
Yeah,
him?
can you please pick up my like?
Yeah, like the video.
Wow. That's the most straightforward. Thanks.
Yeah. I'll continue on though.
Mm-hmm.
So verse 57. If you confront them in battle, treat them in such a wise, it says in such a wise, as to
That shouldn't be funny.
right, yeah,
It is though.
as to disperse those who are behind them, so that they may take admonition. I'm guessing, so if you should overtake them in war, scatter by them those who are behind them, that they may be mindful. That is, an exemplary punishment should be inflicted on them, so that a stop might be put to further fighting and bloodshed.
Yeah, the point of the verse is to make an example of those who break pacts in order to give pause to those who would come after them and also would seek to break their pacts.
Gotcha. Yeah. And if you fear treachery from a people, break off the treaty with them in a like manner. Indeed, God does not like the treacherous. Let the faithless not suppose that they have outmaneuvered God. Indeed, they cannot frustrate his power.
Obviously,
Yeah.
right? This idea.
So before you fucking lose, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, when the believers make a treaty and there are clear signs that the other group is going to act treacherously, the believers are commanded to give them fair warning that they will withdraw from the treaty without acting under any pretense that they, the believers, are still abiding by the terms of the treaty. However, if the other side breaks the treaty first, there's no obligation to give them any warning.
Sure,
In discussing how suspicion...
Yeah, the treaty's
and-
already done. If you just stop doing the thing, in the ancient world at least, the treaty was over. It didn't count anymore.
Mhm.
Even if it was, written down, even if it was on fucking stone, if one of the nations, I guess, or tribes or whatever,
You
had
violated
broke-
the law.
Yeah, if they violated the the treaty's null and void.
Mm-hmm.
It don't count.
Al-Qurtubi argues that if the other side withdraws patently by breaking the terms, withdrawal from the agreement is moot since the treaty is broken by their action. One enters into a treaty only when one has a reasonable expectation that the other side will uphold it. And conversely, one can reasonably withdraw when that expectation no longer holds. The verse is worded as it is so that there will be an equality of knowledge between the two sides, meaning that the withdrawal will be done to bring the two sides back to the situation before the treaty was signed. The withdrawal is not to be used as a stratagem of war.
Yeah, because it's
outta
a
here.
coward move.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, I mean, yeah, David did that, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're specifically told they're never supposed to retreat.
Oh, sure, yeah. Which David did do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't know if I don't think he's counted among the prophets. For
David?
I don't know.
For Islam, because the way that they do it, like even some people who we would not consider prophets in biblical tradition, they would consider prophets. Would you consider Adam a prophet?
No.
They do.
What did he prophesize?
He just spoke to God, so he's a prophet.
Would you consider David
That's
a
all-
prophet?
I wouldn't.
Would you consider Goliath a prophet?
Like in the context of the Bible?
I know what you mean. Yeah, I would.
How,
Yeah.
how about Goliath?
No.
But he was.
Good for him.
He saw it coming. He's just too big.
Okay, he couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think I'm at 60. Yeah. Prepare against them whatever you can of military power. Military power and war horses, awing thereby the enemy of God and your enemy, and others besides them, whom you do not know, but God knows them. And whatever you spend in the way of God will be repaid to you in full, and you will not be wronged. So you obviously get back whatever you lose in war.
Whatever you spend shall be paid unto you in full. Similar phrases constitute a common refrain in the Quran.
Is this referring to like the stuff that you lose will be given back to you? Is this like in like of equal value kind of thing?
Look, whatever you're giving up in the course of pursuing Islam will be repaid to you when you die, right?
Well, right, yeah. So I assume it'd be in the
Get
same way.
a superior afterlife.
Yeah.
Or
I'm guessing, yeah. If they incline toward peace, you too incline toward it and put your trust in God. Indeed, he is the all-hearing, all-knowing.
Huh? What do you want? I forgot you guys are my chosen people again.
Oh my God, he didn't know much or hear much. But if they desire to deceive you, God is indeed sufficient for you. It is he who strengthened you with his help and with the means of the faithful, and united their hearts. Had you spent all wealth that is on the earth, you could not have united their hearts, but God united them together. He is indeed almighty, all-wise.
this verse is generally believed to refer to the helpers, the Arab tribes of Medina who embraced Islam and welcomed the Prophet, and the Meccan Muslims who came with them. The Medina's two main Arab tribes, the Aus and Khazraj, had a long history of conflict and hostility, resulting from a vendetta culture of pride and honor. That their enmity was overcome and replaced by mutual love and sacrifice is considered to be proof of the Prophet's veracity and sincerity.
Great.
Yeah, it looks like at least in Yusuf Ali's commentary, he seems to refer to a dispute that that was able to be rectified here, but he doesn't say much about the actual dispute. And then it seems like, Maulana Muhammad Ali says nothing about it. So, you know what I forgot?
Yes. It's okay. You didn't have to.
No, I did.
But we already know how long it is.
So?
Slightly over 9 minutes.
Do you not like the hourglass?
Nope, I hate it.
Wow.
It's a wonderful hourglass.
I really like the sand clock, though.
Okay. I'll get you one of those next. I'll get you a good sand clock.
This is that.
sundial.
Stop. No.
It made of sandstone, yeah.
No,
Have
like
you seen the wristwatch sundials?
I have, yeah. I was actually thinking about getting Chris an hourglass that goes on your wrist. So it would be like a watch, but it would just be the hourglass.
I don't want
You
that.
have to-
It's like a fucking ring pop, but on your wrist.
you
Can
gotta,
you just give me a
hold
ring pop
your-
then?
Hold your arm like this for.
You know how
an
long
hour.
it's been?
No, I was talking about like straight up like this. So you don't have to hold it like this.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So it's actually even worse than you anticipated.
Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna break.
Yes. Happy birthday.
It's nowhere near.
Well, continue reading the Quran.
Let's see where we're at. So I just finished verse 63. So on to 64. Oh, prophet, sufficient for you is God and those of the faithful who follow you. Oh, prophet, urge on the faithful to fight. If there be 20 steadfast men among you, they will overcome 200. And if there be 100 of you, they will overcome 1,000 of the faithless. For they are a lot who do not understand. For they are a lot. Yeah.
So most commentators, I want to have you continue on through verse 66.
Okay, yeah. It does seem I have some commentary on this as well. This seems pretty biblical, right, though? Because I think there is at least a few verses, maybe in the Deuteronomistic history, that point to... I know that, like, you know, David had his... Or Saul had his thousands.
And David has tens of thousands.
Right, yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of that.
A T-shirt that references that.
Did we? We might have.
Maybe.
But I might be thinking of that, so I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like this represents some biblical language, right? Where it's like, oh, like almost no one could beat, like, you know, everybody. Like, I feel like in the King's narratives there was at least one case like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not recall. But yeah, I will continue. Now God has lightened your burden, knowing that there is weakness in you. Fucking rude. So if there be 100 steadfast men among you, they will overcome 200. Wait, hold on. That's really funny. And if there be 1,000, they will overcome 2,000. By God's leave, and God is with the steadfast. That's really funny, actually.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Most
It's like you're strong, but you're not as strong as I thought you were.
So I'm just gonna make things easier for you.
Or no, he lightened their burden. So yeah, they have less to deal with, I guess. Which wouldn't that make them stronger? Whatever.
So most commentators take verses 65 through 66 to constitute commands and not only descriptions. Because if they were descriptions of what actually happens, they would always hold true, since it's God speaking, but they don't, in fact, always hold true. In one interpretation of how these verses fit together, it's said that verse 65 was revealed and caused alarm among some companions who lamented their state of exile and weakness in the face of the enemy. After which God lightened their burden by revealing verse 66. According to some, verse 65 refers to the time when the Muslims were few in number, but later, when they became greater in number, the obligation was changed. Those who deny any kind of abrogation, such as Abu Muslim al-Isfani, states that 65 was a command, but with the condition that they be capable of patience and steadfastness in the face of 10-to-1 odds, and that verse 66 shows that this patience was not present in them, Thus, verse 65 states what is the command given general conditions, namely the presence of that level of patience, while verse 66 shows that this level of patience was not reached, and God knew this weakness was in them. Another reason to suppose that there is no abrogation is that one verse immediately follows the other, and such abrogation is considered unusual and unlikely. Al-Razi offers an interpretation known only to those of spiritual discipline and vision, namely that those whose hearts are filled with spiritual knowledge and understanding are fearsome to creation. And when hearts are mastered by the light of knowing God, it strengthens and empowers them, and they're capable of actions not possible before.
You know, there are a few things. First of all, Chrissy's calling me out for the way I read, which is, I guess accurate. That's how I do it at home. I am hunched over and I am playing with the pages of other books. Yes, that is completely accurate.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's your fidget? That's your... You don't
I'm just fidgeting with the pages of, like, I don't know, the Popol Vuh.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Mayan work. Anyways,
you just constantly have the Hammer of Witches open.
Oh, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. I think that's a very, very funny story about how that was written by a fucking incel. Anyways, it's true. So you mentioned abrogation.
Mm-hmm.
Now Maulana Muhammad Ali disagrees with your commentary.
Okay. Yeah,
he says he says this is not a correct view. Firstly, because only an injunction could be said to be abrogated and not a statement. Secondly, because the two statements relate to two different states of the Muslims. At the time of the Battle of Badr, it doesn't seem like two different states. I mean one after, but whatever.
Oh no.
I know, crazy. At the time of the Battle of Badr, there was no Muslim army in existence.
How about that?
Every man available, young or old, sick or healthy, had to fight to save the life of the community. They had very few arms, and they had never been trained. Okay.
The community center is being shut down, and everyone lost their arms?
Wow, that was quite the way of interpreting that. I should have seen that coming. But the them having literally no arms.
I know, yeah.
There aren't.
I've heard of literalism.
Right. Yeah. There are no other statements about the potential abrogation of that verse, but the thing I might have been thinking of was apparently from Leviticus 26:7 through 8. You will pursue your enemies, and they will fall before your sword. 5 of you pursuing 100 of them, 100 pursuing 10,000, and your enemies will fall before your sword. And apparently verse 66 is closely related to Surah 4, verse 28 as well.
All right, continue on with verse
67. A prophet may not take captives until he has thoroughly decimated the enemy in the land.
Wow, no prisoners of war until you kill enough guys. Hey, I know you wanted to save that guy, but you didn't kill enough.
You didn't kill enough guys, yeah. You desire the transitory gains of this world, while God desires for you the reward of the hereafter, and God is almighty, all-wise. Had it not been for a prior decree of God, there would have surely befallen you a great punishment for what you took. Avail yourselves of the spoils you have taken as lawful and good, and be wary of God. God is indeed all-forgiving, all-merciful. Few things on this section. Mm-hmm. It does seem like there is some lengthy commentary from...
I forgive you.
I'm probably not going to read even some of it because this is a very apologetic commentary. But the there are a few ideas that I want to point out. Like we already talked about one of them already, but at least when it comes to the rest of this, now remember earlier in today's reading, some of the spoils had like a part of it was, I think, a fifth, right? At the very beginning of our reading today, like a fifth of it was reserved for who was it reserved for?
1/5 is reserved for God and
Right, yeah.
the needy and a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, this is they do that kind of splitting of spoils or splitting of, usually at least in biblical texts, a lot of the time it's they split how they split the money, right? Or the fundings for everything. So they have different ways of allocating these things. And while I don't remember the exact numbers of anything in the Bible off the top of my head about how they split this, it seems to be reflecting probably a very similar cultural what's the word I'm looking for? Cultural norm? I guess?
Perhaps, but I have commentary on this section 67 through 69. In most accounts,
Also, they're mad about what they took, apparently.
Yeah. We got something.
Chuck-o-matic.
Welcome to badge level.
Well, yeah, becoming a member. Thank you so much. In the time like this where everything sucks, that is very much appreciated. And I have been thinking about doing early access too for some for members, right? Or for patrons as well. Maybe both. I've been thinking about doing that.
Good luck.
Good luck. It's just an easy click.
Yeah, we should give our members
That's hard,
something
man.
besides our 3 or 4 emotes and the badges.
The emotes, yeah, they're not very much, but the badges are fucking dope.
Yeah, the badges are
It's
great.
something.
Yeah, pull them up.
You should be proud of your badges.
We still got them up there, yeah.
I'm gonna try.
You really should be proud of your
There we
badges.
go.
Let me give you this commentary. In most accounts, before deciding what to do with the 70 prisoners taken at the Battle of Badr, the Prophet consulted his companions. Abu Bakr was in favor of letting them live and leasing them for ransom, arguing that even though they were enemies, they were still kin, that the money received for their release would strengthen the Muslim community, and the fullness of time, perhaps, they would be guided to Islam. Umar ibn al-Khattab argued that they should be executed because of their previous acts of aggression and persecution against the Prophet and his community, and because some of them were important leaders in this hostility. The prisoners were eventually ransomed. One interpretation of this passage is that some of the believers were hasty in taking spoils. It's an Islamic belief that up until this point, no prophet was permitted to take spoils. Rather, spoils were destroyed. This may refer to the harem ban in the Torah tradition that required certain conquered cities to be utterly destroyed.
You're right. Yeah, that makes
including any
sense.
spoils.
That makes sense. Yeah, harem warfare, right? So Kip Davis has done a ton of videos on specifically this. The Canaanite genocide was specifically said that those wars were it was harem warfare. So like everything had to be complete destruction and annihilation, because it means ban. I'm pretty sure. So
Yes.
the warfare is like you are completely restricting access to this stuff by entirely decimating it. So
you
which I guess
salt
it
their
wouldn't.
fields, you kill all the people and the animals, you destroy all of the buildings.
Yeah, even though there's multiple cases where in the Bible, I think in Numbers especially, right, where they take a whole bunch of shit after a war, the Midianites. Yeah, the Midianites. Specifically in Numbers like 30 something, right? I'm not going crazy. This is specifically in there where they took.
Dude, you're going crazy.
I must be going crazy. Where they took and Moses was like totally on board with this. Where after this battle, right, then they take like a whole bunch of livestock and women. Oh, also that's right, and the young virgins for themselves.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's in there, 100%.
But I think that might be in Joshua.
It might. I mean, something like that might also be in Joshua, but it's definitely in Numbers. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. No.
There's
Moses and the
something-
Midianites. That was definitely in Numbers. 100%.
Okay.
Hold on. Is
Is
it Numbers 31? What was it?
I know that there's various times in which there's complete genocides that occur.
Yeah, definitely. But it's interesting that they say that this was the first time. What was the phrasing that he used
That
the first
no
time?
prophet up until this point was permitted to take spoils. Rather,
Gotcha.
its spoils were destroyed. Saul is rebuked by Samuel for sparing the king of the Amalekites and keeping their best cattle in 1 Samuel 15.
Hold on. Yeah. Fucking hell. Okay.
Oh,
So,
the numbers.
yeah, it was in Numbers 31. Yeah. So, Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the chiefs of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp, and Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds who had come from service in the war. Moses said to them, "Have you let all the women live? Behold, these, on Balaam's advice, caused the people of Israel to act treacherously against the Lord in the incident of Peor. And so the plague came among the congregation of the Lord. Now, therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known a man by lying with him. But all the young girls who have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Encamp outside the camp 7 days. Whoever of you has killed any person, and whoever has killed any person, and whoever has touched any slain, you purify yourselves." And then it goes on to say, I think it changes to the next topic. But yeah, I was pretty sure it was in Numbers 31. But there was a different part where they took like the cattle as well. Maybe it was in this very section, but was it right before? Maybe it was right before. They brought all the captives and plunder and spoil to Moses. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, it says here right before that section, then they brought the captives and the plunder and the spoil to Moses and to Eleazar the priest and to the congregation of the people of Israel. But the issue is he's not mad about them bringing spoils. He's mad about the people that they have not killed yet. And he wants them to take the women specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's not good.
No, none of it is.
Not good at all.
No. So, not sure. Oh, hold on. There's one comment here. Wahidi cites several traditions that connect these verses with a dispute over what to do with the Meccan prisoners captured at Badr. For example, quote, "The messenger of God consulted Abu Bakr regarding the prisoners of Badr, and the latter said, 'They are your people and clan, let them go.' But when he consulted Umar, the latter said, 'Kill them.' The messenger of God freed them in exchange for a ransom. God then revealed, it is not for any prophet to have captives until he hath made slaughter in the land. Up to his words, avail yourselves of the spoils you have taken. When the prophet met Umar, he said to him, 'We almost incurred a misfortune as a result of opposing your view. The way the Quran reprimands its prophet for taking prisoners is reminiscent of the story of Saul in 1 Samuel. Saul, who in fact acts as a prophet, is commanded to annihilate all of Amalek, but he keeps the best animals and Amalek's king Agag as spoils, for which he is reprimanded. So I suppose that there is some biblical precedent for that. But as we know, Muhammad was not, if it is in fact true that he was not literate, and I do believe that when Muhammad was, doing this whole shtick, that he didn't have access to any copy of the Bible.
The can of Behold is gone.
It's been, dude.
Yeah, it has been gone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, there's that sand clock.
The Quran is not a Behold ebook. We need like a can of Oh You Who Believe.
Or
Oh,
a
sure,
can
yeah.
of losers.
Yeah, a loser's can.
Losers.
Maybe a loser button. Like
Mm,
we click a button.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Losers.
Yeah. I'm sure we could pull up a soundbite or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just say that, and you did a
We
pretty good job.
could. We could shout loser.
We tried that.
Yeah, we'll do that next
Good
time.
luck.
Yeah.
Thanks. Anyways, I'll continue on though.
Do it.
Oh, prophet, say to the captives who are in your hands, if God finds any good in your hearts, he will give you something which is better than what has been taken away from you. That's so fucking manipulative. And he will forgive you, and God is all forgiving, all merciful. Bro, these are the victims.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
But God will forgive you.
He'll forgive you. Oh my God. Okay. Well, yeah, these are like the prisoners of war, right? Yeah, these would be the prisoners of war.
Yeah, we're talking about captives in their custody.
Yeah, yeah. And this is specifically after a battle, and we just got done talking about the Battle of Badr, right? So there you go. Indeed, those. Oh, sorry, yeah. But if they seek to betray you, then they have already betrayed God earlier, and he gave you power over them, and God is all-knowing, all-wise. So, big power play, and there does not seem to be...
It's understood to mean that if the captives are not true in their attestations to faith and go back to their old ways, then they're treacherous before, and God still gave the believers power over them.
It seems like it could encompass like any rejection of it too, like
Well,
not just turning
it's like
back,
their
but-
general theory of treaties, right?
Yeah.
Once you break the
God.
treaty, then you reverse to the state where you were before, and if they're
Well, you see, the
becoming
general theory of
believers-
treaties is actually extremely complicated, despite its name. It's like general relativity, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have
Okay.
two treaties, and one of them is broken. The other one,
No, you have two treaties. One of them is traveling in a train at 40.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
if
there
two
you go.
treaties
Very good.
collide at near light speed,
Very good,
going
Chris.
opposite directions.
Sorry, this is just arcane, so I had to have fun with it.
Yeah, it is quite old if the word you're looking for is archaic.
No.
You're looking for the word arcane.
Yes, as in obscura or out of the ordinary.
Isn't it magical? Arcane?
Esoteric.
Esoteric.
Arcane is magic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, esoteric is obscure.
Yeah, there you go,
hidden.
okay.
that's what I want.
Well,
Okay.
occult means hidden.
Okay.
But-
Occult also means magic.
It also refers to magic
yeah.
shit.
Okay, so you see my confusion. There
Yeah,
we
fair
are.
Tried
enough.
to summon a demon.
That didn't work.
Did not work.
Didn't work.
No.
We tried to do alchemy.
Didn't work.
It worked.
That one definitely worked.
Right, we were very successful.
Yeah, we were 100% successful.
Totally successful.
I
Yeah.
run my business exclusively using this box and some silver now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Indeed, those who have believed and migrated and waged jihad with their possessions and persons in the way of God, and those who gave them shelter and help, they are heirs of one another.
Protectors of one another.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
As for those who have believed but did not migrate, you have no heirship in relation to them whatsoever until they migrate. Yet,
Airship?
yeah, like they won't be like heirs.
Yeah,
to
there's
something.
no duty upon you except against the people. Okay.
Not like an airship, like a flying one.
Yeah,
This is
no,
spelled
you
Ahei.
see
Yeah.
Why I bothered to ask.
Yeah.
You owe them no protection.
Yes. In
it.
relation to them whatsoever until they migrate. Yet, if they ask your help for the sake of religion, it is incumbent on you to help them, accepting
Except
accepting against a people with whom you have a treaty, and God watches what you do.
Mhm.
So quite a long verse there.
Yeah, well, there's multiple parts, but I think
Yeah, surely those who believed and fled their homes and struggled hard in Allah's way.
like this is
Yeah.
the situation in which the main Muslim community here would help diaspora Muslim communities.
Right. Yeah.
If they're requested for the sake of religion, unless there's a treaty that would prevent them from doing so. So, yeah.
As for the faithless, they are allies of one another. Unless you do the same, there will be strife in the land and great corruption. So this is very utilitarian,
Well,
I guess, could you call it?
yeah, I guess. They want to be allies with each other.
People who agree with you, yeah.
It's like ethnocentric.
Yeah, I
in
guess
a
ethnocentric,
sense.
yeah.
I agree with you, but I think we should be enemies.
That's a great point. All right, we're gonna burn the place down.
Yep.
But yeah, this seems to also be in the context of like warring nations as well.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, in that context, like you would always fight with your Muslim brothers, on their side. So
Unless there's a treaty.
right, of course. Yeah, so that was verse 73.
3.
Yes, thank you. Wait, hold on.
No, finish up.
Okay, never mind. I was looking at the wrong verse here. So those who have believed, migrated, and waged jihad in the way of God, and those who gave them shelter and help, it is they who are truly faithful. For them shall be forgiveness and a noble provision. So some martyrology thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I assume in the beginning years of this, that would have been the norm to be kind of shunned for beliefs in this stuff. And of course, the struggle or the jihad would be like any kind of experience you take for this.
Yeah, this verse is understood to exalt the emigrants and helpers above all other categories of Muslim, and this rank is seen by most Muslims as forever restricted to them, based upon a hadith that says there is no hijrah after the victory, thought by most to refer to the conquest of Mecca, but by others to refer to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which enabled open travel between Mecca and Medina for the 2 years previous to the final conquest of Mecca by the Prophet and his followers. Some commentators mention opinions that describe leaving one's homeland to campaign in the way of God as a kind of hijrah.
I guess I can see that.
But yeah,
So last verse.
do it.
Those who believed afterwards and migrated and waged jihad along with you, they belong with you, but the blood relatives are more entitled to inherit from one another in the book of God. Indeed, God has knowledge of all things.
Yeah, the relationship of kinship established by the prophet between the emigrants and the helpers compared to blood relatives.
Yeah, this is making very close family ties.
Yeah.
Like it gives you your circle, and then it says that like, but the very center of this circle is like the most tightly bound. It cannot be penetrated.
Yeah. Now, that is the end of the reading for today, and we are going to be off for a few weeks.
Yeah, because I hear you got a whole lot of moose to hunt.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I know you're not. Sorry, mammoths.
Yeah, we're going to the mountains and hunting mammoths
Yep.
with our spears.
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening. We're going to be off for a few Wednesdays. Lawrence might upload something in the meantime.
I will be.
I'll be consulting.
Thank you.
I'll be like, Lawrence, make a video about this, and then he'll
Might
be
be
like,
a good time
yeah,
to
I'll
update
do
the
it.
technology a
You
little.
know,
Yeah,
we should
you're right.
have. We should have. You know, I mentioned that you should do the YouTube debates. We should.
Yep.
Right,
We
yeah.
should do.
Pen guy. Let's get pen guy.
We should get Pen Guy. Pen Guy has a YouTube channel now.
Yeah, he does.
everybody.
Good for him.
And you should all watch it. It's something.
I need to explain to him that when you're using a Yeti mic, you can't talk into like the top of it. You need to talk into the side of it because it doesn't register the top of it.
Yeah.
It's not like this kind of mic.
Right.
So I need to explain that to him.
Oh well.
The like you still hear him because he's right next to it, but it's
Sure.
yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I might do like some TikToks or something. Maybe I'll because you remember Rob?
TikToks.
Yes, you know Rob.
I don't have a TikTok.
He is apparently has a lot of followers on TikTok, so like I might do like a stream with him or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rob in it ever.
Ever?
In an ever.
In an ever. Yeah, that's fair enough. And then because they're trying to put the 10 Commandments up in Texas schools, like public schools, I want to do a video on the 10 Commandments. I'm going to be like, hey, there are 3 versions of the 10 Commandments. The ones you use are like heavily errated anyways. And no one, basically no one fucking follows them. So what does the fucking matter? So
Catholics don't even include the one about idols.
right.
Get those
Or they
idols.
they
They had to remove that one because
right,
they sold all
they
those
got all the
idols.
idols. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
It's good stuff.
Good times.
Upon returning after 3 weeks, we will be reading from Surah 9.
Yay.
Yeah, we will.
Yes, and we've
worked out
made
well.
a dent. We've made a pretty good dent. We're about a third of the way through.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy?
No, that's reasonable.
Look at that.
You guys have been doing this for a little while.
That is true. It doesn't feel that long though, but maybe we're comparing it to the fact that we read the fucking Bible.
It is a difference in years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll finish the Quran. This is like a 2-year-long show.
This is
3-year
not
long
as
show.
long
Maybe 3 years.
project.
3 max.
Right, Max.
All right. Well, thank you.
Anyways, thanks for joining us.
Hey, everyone,
click all the
check out
links.
Patreon and Discord and Teespring and
I'm gonna be posting more
Facebook
on Patreon
I
too.
guess on what is it? Oh yeah, the TikTok.
Yeah,
You
that's
should-
right. I gotta
you
like
should
link that or
Go
something.
look at Lawrence on it.
I have some videos on there.
You do.
Yes.
Is it Milwaukee Atheist?
Yeah.
Milwaukee Atheist has a TikTok.
Yeah.
Is it in our description?
No.
Any of our
I
videos?
should put that in there.
Okay, goodbye.
All right. See you later. Go do all the things. Click the links. See you in like a month.